Hello everyone. I am Jatin Jain. Today I will be sharing my prelims and main strategy with all you guys. And I have cleared the prelims multiple times of UPSC, of UPPSC, and other examinations also. So I will be sharing what works for me and what would work for you. Okay. So starting with the prelim strategy, there has always been a debate between which one should focus on the static subjects or in the current affairs subjects. But what I believe is one should what I did was I strengthened on my core areas. For example, I've always tried to make a balanced approach between the static and the current affairs, and I always did polity, history, and economy in a more holistic sense from the basic resources only. For example, for modern history, I learned spectrum. For polity, I refer to the Lakshmikant, and similarly for other basic resources. And my approach was to revise these basic materials multiple of times, because in a competitive examination like UPSC, whatever the questions which would come from these resources, I should not mark them incorrect rather than incorrecting in current affair question. Because if I mark a question incorrect in these terms, it would leave me much more behind in the competition, because all other aspirants would be marking them correct. So I strengthened on my core areas and then worked for the current affair part. And in my whole UPSC journey, one thing which I would suggest everybody to do is to keep relying on the previous year questions. Make previous year questions your best friend, I would say. Okay. And we need to analyze the PYQs in the most holistic manner as it can be done. Rather than solving too much of mocks, solve some mocks and then rely on the previous year questions for analyzing and building your capabilities, and uh, using it as a tool to test your knowledge and your progress in this journey. It should always be a guiding light for the path to success. It also helps us to identify the repetitive themes in the examination, like Jainism, Buddhism, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, rivers, mapping, report indices. These are few areas which, when you will see the previous year's questions, they are frequently asked, and they comes very handy. And these are low hanging fruits. You can easily score marks in these questions, and if you successfully do so, easily you can score 10, 12 to 15 marks in a UPSC. And when the cutoff is only 50%, these small margins and these small bonuses gives you an extra edge, so that you can clear the prelims comfortably. And then what I did was I made short notes for the revision. These topics are very important, and you need to mug up these things because they are very confusing. National parks of southern states and northern states. If you don't revise them on the final day or the close to the examination, then you will definitely be confused by seeing different options. So it is always advisable to make short notes of these topics and revise them multiple times, so that you get them correct in the final examination. And now the question comes, how many marks one should give? So practice as many questions as possible to get comfortable with the types and approach of the questions. Around one should solve 5,000 to 6,000 questions. That comes down to 50 to 60 tests, including the sectional test as well as the full length test. Okay. And now the question comes, we have given the mocks, so what to do next? So rather than just checking the mocks and relying on the score, what you get, you score 60, 70 or 90, 100 or 120. The more important thing is analyzing the mocks. And how to analyze them is to analyze how the questions are asked, what are your mistakes, are there any certain key areas where you are making the mistakes repeatedly, how to identify them and work upon them and resolve them. And they also helps in building the elimination or the intuition, which we would say smart guess. The mocks help us in building the confidence and giving us our idea how to take a smart guess when you are in a dilemma or there is a 50-50 question. You eliminate two options and two options are left. So these kind of things which you can practice is from the mocks, and what we learn from the mocks we are going to implement in the final examination. And one most important advice I would say is, please don't neglect CSET ever. Practice CSET for the both maths and comprehension on a regular basis. At least on per day, per week, one Sunday, you should take out an hour or 2 hours for CSET practice religiously. Okay, it is the most important thing. Because, and don't take a notion with yourself. Suppose you have to do only maths question or comprehension question. UPSC is known for giving surprises, as U stand for unpredictable. For example, in prelims 2022, the comprehension section was very much easy and maths was very much difficult compared to previous year questions. And some of my friends have relied completely on maths. It was their bad luck, and they might be scoring 110 or 120 in the GS paper, but they were not able to clear the CSAT paper. So don't do that mistake. If it has been a qualifying nature, give the due amount of respect and time which it needs. Okay. And the most important thing is carry confidence and calmness at the D day so that you can apply a presence of mind, your skills, and most importantly, the knowledge base which you have created by studying for this examination for a year or 2 year. So you can analyze it and apply it on the final day to be on the other side of the group so that you qualify main prelims and able to give the mains. So coming to my main strategy, mains strategy is very simple, I would say, compared to the prelim strategy. In the mains, the very important thing is to know the syllabus very well, both of your GS and the optional subjects, because each and every keyword of the syllabus is a guide to you, which helps you to prepare what to do and what not to do. Okay, and now the most important thing next is the fulfilling the demand of the questions. Demand is the main important part in the main strategy. Every question you need to address that main demand of the question. What the thing is, what we have to write, what is asked in the question. Sometimes people write what they know. Suppose example is about question is about the basic structure. So you don't need to write all of the information which you know about the basic structure. You need to understand what is the question I was asking. The question was asking suppose something about the recent comments of the vice president regarding basic structure. So you need to address those areas. And then for the examples and case studies, I relied on the newspaper for taking examples because our newspaper gives very current examples. I prepare 1-2 pager notes on each and every topic of the syllabus, and you can prepare these notes in an answer format only so that it is better you to revise the things. And create a separate notes and value added things for value added things. For example, articles, Supreme Court cases, committees, examples, diagrams. You need to put those in your answers to make that more authentic and to get an extra edge other than the aspirants. So you can make a separate notes for it so that you can revise it multiple times and reproduce them in the answer key. Also, you can prepare a fact sheet which comes very handy so that you can have data facts, a certain amount of data facts, and revise them and learn them by heart. So then you are in a wisdom to use them as per your need. Okay, and the most important thing is limited learning content but revising it multiple times. You need to stick to the basic 1 or 2 pager notes which I have suggested you, and then revise that 2 pager notes of that topic multiple times so that you are able to learn it and reproduce it. And you need to emphasize both on the GS and the optional. And answer writing is a very important. You need to practice answer writing on a daily basis of both GS and optional so that you are comfortable with the answer writing practices to address the demand of the question. You can follow any test series of the means so that you are in a routine to follow and write answer writings and complete the test paper in 3 hours. Don't also neglect the essay paper. You need to write one essay paper on every Sunday so that you don't take lightly, because essay paper is also 250 marks, and it is very easy to score high marks in the essay and get an edge, so that if any of your GS paper goes a haywire or it is a difficult or you blundered some of the things, essay can take care of it. And also work upon the presentation skills to make your answers more appealing and make your answers more beautiful, so that obviously first, as we say, first impression is the last impression. If your answer sheet is sweet, clean, very effective answer writing, diagrams are there, underlining boxes is there, it is easier for the examiner to check your copy. And when examiner is happy with your copy, he or she will definitely be going to give you extra marks. And as you know, every 1 mark matters in these kind of sittings. And you can form ready-made templates for the answers. For example, dimensions for textual, political, economic, social, technical, or short-term, long-term solutions, structural, non-structural measures, uh, attitudinal, behavioral changes. So you can prepare a proper ready-made framework for some of the frequently asked questions, so that your notes are in that format only, and you can revise them multiple times and you can learn them, and then you can finally reproduce